Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Kiai Haji Muhammad Hasan Mutawakkil Allah SHMM, caregiver of Zainul Hasan Genggong Islamic Boarding School, Associate Professor Dr. Abdul Aziz BAMAG, Rector of Zainul Hasan Genggong Islamic University, Dr. Zainuddin MPD, our respected lecturer and supervisor. I am Farahadina Puspitarani. Today, I would like to present about social issue, which is, are we too dependent on technology? Today, I would like to present about a social issue, which is, are we too dependent on technology? Today, technology is a big part of our daily life. Maybe even we cannot live without it anymore. From morning until night, we always use technology like smartphones, laptops, and the internet. Almost everything we do is connected to it. Technology really makes our life easier. For example, we can find information quickly, communicate with people from far away, and do many tasks faster. But here is the question, are we too dependent on technology? Technology dependence means we rely too much on it. We feel like we cannot live without it. For example, many people cannot stay away from their phone even for a short time. So, technology is not only helping us, but it can also start controlling us if we are not careful. Now, I want to talk about the positive and negative sides of technology. Technology has both positive and negative effects. First, the positive side. Technology makes everything easier and faster. We can communicate anytime and anywhere and get information instantly. In education, technology is also very helpful. Students can learn from many sources like videos, websites, or AI tools like ChatGPT. However, there are also negative effects. One of the biggest problems is addiction. Many people spend too much time on their phones. Another problem is less real-life interaction. People now prefer chatting online rather than talking directly. Technology can also make us lazy to think. When we have a question, we immediately search for the answer without trying first. Because of this, our critical thinking skills can decrease. In real life, we can see that many students are already too dependent on technology. For example, many students use Google or ChatGPT for almost everything, even for simple questions. Sometimes I also feel it is hard to study without my phone. I once watched a podcast by Prof. Stella Christie. She said that many people are worried about AI dependence in education. Students may rely too much on tools like ChatGPT without really using their own thinking. She also said that if we become too dependent, we may not be able to solve problems by ourselves in the future. I also saw a social experiment where children were asked simple questions like, what is 5 times 3? But they could not answer. This shows how technology may affect how children think. However, some parents think differently. They believe gadgets help children learn language from videos so they feel proud. But we need to remember that learning is not only about receiving information. Research shows that we develop our thinking through communication with others. If we rely too much on technology, our learning becomes passive. But in active learning, we ask questions, discuss, and think more deeply. So, learning is not just about getting information, but also using and understanding it. In conclusion, technology is very useful and important in our life, but we should not depend on it too much. We still need to think by ourselves, communicate directly, and use technology wisely. So, the problem is not the technology, but how we use it. If we cannot control technology, then technology will control us. Thank you for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.